Hello. Okay. So last time we did these types of stuff. I'm not sure what I'll do this time, but I'll figure it out. I'm thinking of like adding these pillars, kind of, and then maybe experiment with like texture decay, as well as like rubble everywhere, like on the floor. I also like this, but I don't know if I can like incorporate that here. Maybe I can. We'll see. Depends on like the animation. Also, I'll be right back real quick. Alright, back. Okay, so maybe let's do like a quick animation. See how that goes of like the camera. Not sure if I should even have a path curve for this. I could just simply animate like going forward using the location keyframes. like this. Okay, let's just start somewhere. Do linear movement. I think that would be better here. I don't want it to be too slow. Yeah, right now it's obviously very smooth, like linear kind of motion, but I can just do shaking motion quite easily like this. I can choose from these different types of handheld tracking kind of movement. Let me make this floor a bit longer. Move this here. Okay, that's a bit fast. Okay. Let's show like the seconds here as well. Use timecode, I think it was. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'll try to keep it around 3 to 4 seconds. So around here. Let's also hide the outer area for the camera. There. Okay, so I'll just like mark this. I guess around here is where I would finish the first scene. And this is 30 FPS, I believe, which should be good for streaming purposes. I don't want it to be 60 because I think that wouldn't really look all that natural with the handheld camera look. I feel like 30 is more than enough for like proper motion blur and stuff like that. Okay. So I think I want to make this camera look up after a certain point. So if I'm gonna make it look up, then I have more of a reason to make like a dome here, like this, kind of. So I could try doing that. But there has to be enough time between these shots, or I guess between the handheld movement, so that the viewer can kind of process what they're looking at, rather than me just kind of swapping the camera angle in like a 2-second interval, or like a millisecond. This should be okay. Could also check in the material view, see how that looks, although I guess this isn't really gonna work that well, because yeah. Although, let me try something. I'm gonna try to enable ray tracing for EV. That still didn't really do much at all. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Then obviously I need to make sure that this isn't like just ending at that point. I need to make sure this continues like that. Okay. Suppose either I can continue with this like that, or I could make a slice and then extrude this angle instead, like this maybe. And also give this the bevel weight here. Maybe these both. It kind of breaks it though. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if that's a good idea to bevel this corner here. I feel like that's not gonna work, but I'll check. I mean, it works. Amazing to see this live. Glad that you are enjoying it. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So maybe what happens if I have a slice like here, and then I try to do this. Yeah, well, that's still gonna do its thing. Maybe if I do that. No, okay. So there are different methods of this like blending. So I could try those. This should be okay. I kind of like how it looks. I think I'm gonna add a cylinder so that it has like support from below here somewhere. So to make a cylinder, there's, I guess, a couple of ways. I could use a screw modifier, which is like, essentially, I guess I can just show you, hold on. So let's do a plane, then just make it a point, side view, and essentially I'm just gonna draw like a 2D version of pillar shape. So like, let's say, I don't know, just random stuff like this maybe. And then if I were to add a screw modifier here, that's what happens. So it just kind of makes it a spiral kind of shape. Could also maybe like duplicate this, -1, merge these points together if I can. Distance. There are like two, there should be two vertices here. At last. Okay, so that, I don't know why the normals are having an aneurysm, but let me try to fix that. calculate, flip, okay. There we go, and then this. So that works. Now the thing with this is that it works for a general shape, but if I want to add like indentations throughout this, I guess I would need to apply it first and then do it. Let's also make it a bit more detailed. Okay, and then let's try maybe like a bevel. It's not working. Do maybe a different geometry method. Although, I guess I could just do it like this as well. That's not a big deal. We also select all of them like this, and then do it. Let's do it for both sides, even though this top side probably won't be visible. But there you go. Okay. And then make it a bit bigger. I don't know what happened there. Oh wait, I have a merge tool enabled, so we don't want that here. And then maybe let's make it a bit like this. So these are kind of thicker, I guess, in the vertical side. Okay, so that's pretty small. Let's try to scale this up. Median point. And I guess I can also make sure the origin is on this point. So that means I'll be able to scale it from that point rather than this. So I can essentially put this on the floor and then scale it like that. Okay. I think that looks pretty appropriate. I think I could also add like ivy, like plants going around it later. Okay. Maybe I could also put, I don't know, would it be appropriate to have fillers on a staircase kind of like this? Can't really recall seeing any like that. We also need to make sure this is beveled somehow. Could I like have different types of bevels depending on the edge, maybe? Or maybe I can just do this, but that's... yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. Okay. I guess that's okay. Yeah. A bit rough on that side. Okay, this one isn't really necessary to do because it's not visible. Okay. Next. I guess let's pick where the ceiling should be. And where I can have like a dome. If I can't even have it here. I'll check. Move it like this, perhaps. So we have a bit more space. Okay. And then... Okay. Cylinder maybe? Or... I guess it doesn't matter if I do a cylinder or a circle. It's the same result. Let's maybe do... I could actually have it at 32 and then make it higher number if I need to make it higher. Let's do this first. Just checking to see if this even makes sense. I guess trying to see if I can make it make sense. Okay, let's try solidify. And then let's do bevel. Four. And then maybe subdivision surface. Okay, let's try doing like maybe a bigger radius on like rotation, maybe like that. So there's just more on the ceiling, like in the shot. And maybe that. But also perhaps move the rotation point, like starting point, a bit earlier. I know I can't drag this properly, that's odd. That could work. And maybe we could even slow down like the movement itself of the camera moving forward as the whoever it is recording kind of looks up. I think that could make more sense. Let's see. A bit busier. And then make sure this is still linear. like this. That's a bit too sudden. Maybe let's do a bit eased into it. That's slightly better. And perhaps make the shaking also slower as it gets to the end. Okay, not bad. Right, let's see. Move this back to cycles. And maybe if I move this towards kind of the center of the screen, like that, could be cooler. Obviously, I still need to cover this up with a ceiling, so I'll do that as well. I guess I could use this as a Boolean object. Let's say I have a ceiling here, and then I just want to make a cutout in the middle of it for this. I could just add a Boolean modifier and then float this, then apply, and if I go now, I can delete it like that. Okay, and yes, this also would. I don't know, I'm trying to think of like the architecture of this. Maybe the walls here are a bit too long, because I don't want it to be visible there, right? I want the outside to be visible. Something like this. Then I could also add like trees and stuff maybe in the shadows. Okay. We do need more light, so that, you know, things are a bit more visible. I think I had this light, that was the main kind of light source for this area, so I'll just put this down. But then that kind of doesn't make sense. Alright, let's try... just thinking. Move this one as well. I'd dissolve these maybe. Not necessarily. But I could do this. Okay. Okay, I guess this needs to be like on all sides, maybe like that. So spliced like this, and then maybe it will work. No. Okay, well, that's weird. This should still work though. Yeah, so now we have the light coming through the window there. So that's a bit better. It could also duplicate this light source and have one shining through the, I guess, I don't know, the window or door. I don't know what this really is, to be honest. I guess it's like a big door with kind of these tiled windows. So let's do this. I don't know what. Oh wait, is this a sun? Yeah, it is. Okay. Alright, let me just put this to area. Alright, and then I just mess with the power. I'm trying to make it so that this pillar right there catches some of this light. So I'll try to do that. Maybe this, let's try. So let's check how this looks. Okay, scale. Just something random for now. And then roughness. Yeah, I can see that right there. Like this. Yeah, I can't really show it, but essentially right there, there's a light being caught now. So that's good. I don't want it to be entirely reflective because, well, I would assume it's a rough material. So let's do like something like that. This most likely won't be like visible per se, like significantly in the render because I'll have like a camcorder look to it. But I'll try to do it as much as I can. Maybe I could even move this to the side or just try different things to make sure that the light is being cast on it. But I could also make a separate light just for that. So like, let's say I bring this in. Right now it's being like cast everywhere, right? But I can just make a light link, which essentially lets me affect only one object. So like this, if I do go back to the light and then add this here. Now if I move this, you can see it's only being cast to the pillar. But it might not be realistic, but that doesn't really matter when you're trying to make things look good. We got that going on. Let's try adding some bump to this. Distance, maybe like 0.2, something like that. Okay. Alright, now I need to adjust this. So this is basically like fake geometry. It adds depth to the parts that you tell it to, in this case, in these parts. But I can also layer it. Like, let's say I want noise texture here to be another thing affecting it. So let me just adjust this first, because right now it's being like stretched. Let's try UV, so now it's a bit more clear. Like this. Okay. So now what I can do is I can combine this, like this bump node, with this one by just duplicating this and plugging it here. And now you can kind of see the difference. But obviously I need to adjust this so it's not like too much. This one kind of makes it look like there's like carvings, I guess, in a deeper level, kind of. Maybe I could do like 0.5 on distance. It's kind of visible right there. Like this. But I think these light reflections might be kind of like artifacts, I feel like. I could be wrong though. Sometimes if you push it too much, the different artifacts might happen, and one of them is like fireflies, they're called, which is essentially just a bunch of white dots in the render. Now, I can also use this as like a color map. So if I were to plug this into here, I could also like turn off the scene world so you can see what's going on. And maybe if I like flip it, good afternoon, rich man. Now I can have like dark parts where there's kind of crevices from the bump. I want to make this more of a yellow tint overall. And I'm probably gonna just adjust the amount that I can see here from these bump nodes. Made a lot of progress. You mean like from, I guess, last time I was streaming this? I wouldn't say a lot of progress though. I mean, I just added a couple of lights and I'm trying to make this dome shape thing here, kind of like this in this reference. I'll figure that out, but for now I'm focusing here on this area. Alright, so that's one pillar. I don't know if I should add more or not yet. And this area is just dark in general, so I'm thinking about what to do about that. Maybe, alright, I wanted to add like a flashlight to the camera, like attached. So we can do that now. So like a spotlight, then we copy the rotation of this camera, we parent it, and now I can adjust this, maybe like tilt it a little bit. So you can now see the light here. So this could act like as a camcorder light. To be honest, I don't know if camcorders had any flashlights because I've never owned one, but I would assume they had. If not, I could also make it look like the person is holding it externally. Maybe make it yellowish. Actually, let's just use temperature. Something like this, maybe. Okay. Then what else do I do? Let's see. Maybe let's give the walls kind of a just like a base look. So we have the shadows on the edges right now from this, but I want these to have like holes and cracked areas and stuff like that. So let's try to do that. Put this to 1. Height or distance should be 0.5 or maybe 0.2, whichever works, I guess. Okay. And that already helps quite a lot for the decayed look. Just gotta tweak it a little bit. And yeah, we need it to look like it's going inward rather than outward, because that wouldn't make sense. So this is better. Now let's maybe make the scale a bit like this. Okay. 5. I'm trying to like figure out. I think this is inward, like it's going inside the wall. Let's also turn this off so I can see better. Could also just use like material preview. Turn these off. Yeah, that's a bit better. Hello, Ellie. How you doing? do the same thing for this wall. So essentially copy this and then click on this wall. I don't know what to put here, maybe just graph editor so I don't have like two of the same windows. Yep. Yep. Alright, that's going somewhere. That's a bit better, I think. Yeah. And then let's do, yep, that's pretty cool. Right. This one, I wanted to add bevels to this, so let's do that. Okay, there's probably a part of this that isn't letting it go further than it is already. I don't know what part that is, but I'll figure it out. Okay, I guess it's this. I don't know where to put the reference. See you grinding away and making peak as usual. Nice seeing how far you came. Thank you. I try to learn often, whatever I can. Okay, this should catch the light now, I hope. Let me just switch back. Yeah, so now you can see the difference, I hope, at least. The rim light here is now visible, whereas before it was still visible, but now it's more visible, I guess. Because like whenever you round the edges, that's giving the light more area to kind of contact with, and then that's what's giving you the outline from the lights. Okay. Maybe I should work on the stairs here, because these aren't textured yet. You'd always stay up late, making stuff. Is it morning over there? It is morning, yeah. If you couldn't tell by the blaring sun in the background. It's like 3 PM right now. Alright, let's see what we can do with this one. I can just start with the bump here. Alright, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, stuff like that works for this. Let's maybe make it darker. And I don't know what color to go with here. Maybe something like this. I also want more detail on these parts, even though they are kind of the cutoff point. So, what happens if I do... Oh, that's not gonna work. That's just the overall opacity for both. So I think I would rather make another bump. And then duplicate this. Alright, let's see. give it here, and that's kind of gonna add on top of this. But what I could do is essentially use this as like a mask so that these smaller details only appear on those parts. So I can do that. They're too smooth. Yeah. Okay. Let's do mix color. And then I will use... I guess I could just do another color ramp for this specifically. So let's do this, maybe multiply. And then all this is gonna help me with is isolate where I want this to be at. So like that, basically. And now I just gotta adjust. Okay. So now those details are only appearing in these areas, like this area. So that's kind of what I wanted, as you can see. Also, these tracks that you hear, these are new tracks I made for Gridcast recently. So those are going to be used in future episodes. 2 of them were used in the last one. So that's cool. Okay, and then I don't know if I should have a... I guess stairs should have a different material. But I could have it linked to this one and then change it up. So let's just do like stairs. Duplicate that. Okay, I'll actually change this to here. Alright, let's just fix this now and change the colors and etc. Maybe UV would work. Not really. Okay. Let's do something like this, and then let's change the size. Since these are the same exact value, I can essentially copy this and then link it here. So now if I change this one is going to change automatically. Let's do something like that. Okay. There's still like smooth areas, which I don't like. I think that's okay for this. I don't think I need to isolate them. And then I'll just change the color. Okay. So that's good. Now let's also give this one some color, even though in the lighting here it's not really gonna be all that visible, I think. But I think if I give it a darker color, it is gonna stand out a bit more. Let's actually give it a dark brown color, kind of, I think. Maybe that would work. And also, these need to be beveled as well. Maybe I can do that now. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, actually, this is what I was having a problem with last time. The normals are not doing well. Oh, that actually fixed it. There you go. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so now we don't have those, like, very harsh edges. Typically, whenever you're trying to do realism, there's no sharp edges like this in real life, usually. So it's better to bevel them. Okay. Alright, I'm now thinking about this area on the right side. Let me also, I'll be right back real quick. Back. Let's see. Your work is way much more detailed than I thought. Glad I found your work. I'm happy that you enjoy it. Even though I'm not able to really express that, but I'm glad that people like what I do. Yeah, I also need to add like floating dust particles, so that way whenever like the flashlight hits it, it'll be visible. It just gives it a nice effect, I guess. I can show it in a bit. So we can maybe make a dust particle first, somewhere over here, outside of the scene. Let's do icosphere 1. So this is gonna be our sample object for the dust. Make it small like this, shade it smooth. Alright, and then I just need a diffuse shader and then a transparent shader. So these are going to be mixed. This is kind of how it's going to look like, kind of. So the reason why this is transparent, mostly, is so that it can blend better with the background, but also if you shine a light on it, it'll light up, so it's gonna become visible. So that's kind of the idea for the dust particles. So let's do like a plane, maybe, or maybe like, actually, you know what, let's do a cube. So this is gonna be where the dust is gonna accumulate inside of this box. So all we need to do is make a particle system, make it like, where is it actually on? This, there you go. So we don't want to see the cube itself, we just want to see the particles. Alright, and then I just need to pick the object. I should have probably named it so it's easier to know to select from the list. I should be able to find it here. There. Dust. Go back. We select this here. There. So now we can kind of see them kind of popping up. I can make it bigger so it's a bit more visible. Now I need to make sure these appear inside of the cube. And then do random distribution. Alright, then I need to make sure there's no like significant velocity, so they're not, I guess, like, actually if you disable velocity there's no acceleration, so they're kind of going in a linear motion without it, more or less. And then I need, where is it, gravity, there, let's do -0.05 maybe, so they're going upwards, but not that fast, maybe like this much. So it's okay. Alright, next, let's make it a bit bigger. And I will make sure that these are gonna spawn like before the scene. For now it's okay. Then I need force fields, one of which is gonna be a wind force field. So like they can go a certain direction. Then I also want turbulence, so that they can be randomized in where they go. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay. Let me just mess with velocity, see how that goes. Yeah, they kind of like, you see, they have this burst of speed and then they slow down if you have velocity enabled. But I think there was another thing that I could disable to make it more linear, because right now they kind of spawn and they don't go right away. They kind of need to wind up for it. But I mean, that's okay too. I mean, it's not a big deal. We just gotta make sure they don't appear while the scene is going. Let's do cache. And we need, where's the, I'm gonna find, oh, there. Okay, so let's do like -100 maybe. And let's do both of these particles. maybe even more. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Let's make the scale randomized. Find where it is, there you go. So right now, they are not visible in this area, so we need to move it like that. So now we can see them, kind of. Like this. I might make them a bit more chaotic. Okay, so maybe turn up the speed. Scale. Maybe the wind is a bit much. Should be okay, and I think I'll give it more lifetime so they don't disappear. Maybe like 400. And I could also just make it so that they all spawn before the scene, so that way they will not disappear. They're just there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now if I turn on the render view, you can see one of them right there. They're kind of like floating around, basically. Let's make them smaller, maybe. As well as maybe turn on like depth of field. I think that's gonna work as well. Let's do this. Okay, so now we are focused on the foreground, or I guess in this case the background. And that means that these dust particles, since they are closer, they're gonna be blurred. Let me try to see if I can see them here. It's kind of hard to see because of all the noise, but I can see them kind of slightly. Okay, so now I can cache this. Maybe actually, let's turn up the amount a little bit. I think I would like more of them. Okay, then let's bake it. Okay, so now the movement is basically saved. And yeah, they're just floating now. Okay. Alrighty. Next, perhaps I could try and add like vegetation to the walls and stuff. I remember seeing an ivy model in GScatter here, so maybe I could do that. I'm not sure how this is gonna work though, but we'll see. So where was this ivy? There it is. Okay. I'm not sure how to go about this. Hold on, let me make sure this is here. Okay. Then I'll just add it and see what happens. Actually, maybe I don't know if this is gonna lag or not, because I don't know how much it's gonna spawn based on this. Maybe let's do weight paint, actually, like a preset. Okay. And then that way I need to specify where this needs to go. So what that means is if I were to scatter it now, it shouldn't like appear right away until I paint somewhere. But I might need to just add it to the scene and then select it separately. I'll see. I'll just check it. Okay. Yeah, so that works. Now, all I need to do is make more geometry here. Like that. What the hell? Oh wait, no, they are there actually. Oh, that's odd. But what is going on there? The hell? Alright, well that shouldn't happen. Could I... well... Maybe it's better if I do this on like a plane rather than just like do a weight paint. I don't know. But that is still odd that it makes this weird area. Let me try to change the shape of it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that works. These don't. Okay. Let's make them a bit bigger so you can see them now over here. Okay. So in order for me to be able to pick where I want this to go, is I just need to paint like this, and then once I do that I need to select it. Oh, so okay, yeah, so the weight painting system I made is separate, I guess, so I didn't really combine it, and that's why this is scattered, but that's okay. I can just do weight mask here, and there you go. Now you can see them up here. Okay, I'm probably going to need more like detail geometry wise. Let's make them a bit bigger, see how that looks. It's a bit hard to control exactly where they rotate because it's random, but in this case I think it's alright because it's gonna be covered anyway. like the entire wall is going to be covered, so you're not going to be able to really tell of the trajectory all that much, but you will know that there's going to be a lot of plants, and that's what matters. Hello, Cariuso. Welcome. Do like this. I don't know if I'm able to make it so that G-scatter keeps in mind like the older modifiers I have, if that's even an option here. I don't really see it. Selected effects can be visualized. Oh, okay, that's a different thing. Geometry. Okay. Well, it's not a big deal, but it would be nice to know if I can do that. Because this is technically like geometry nodes, I would assume, because it uses a lot of the geometry nodes stuff. Also, I'll just pick the color information here, so that next time I load this, it's not gonna be blown out. So let me do that real quick. This one's albedo, so roll matte paint. Anything else should be data. No need for this. Okay, this one also needs to be data. And let me just check how this looks. Not in EV though. Okay, getting there. That's a bit much. This dust is going to look better after this is rendered, because it will have motion blur, so I think that will look good. Anyway, let's do the same with this, I think. Can I just do that? Yeah, I can, but I'm pretty sure this requires me to do some weight painting here as well, so I'll do that. Okay, so let's do here. No, that's selected. Give it some more geometry. And let's just paint. I like that they are hanging down. I like the effect. Okay. I should change this look dev here. Let's do maybe the same thing as I have here. I don't remember what that was though. This one, okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's better. Now I can see. Should be enough. And then let's just paint more. I suppose it's better to just look at it here on the right side while painting on this side. And then I also want the same thing on this pillar. Now I have no idea how this is gonna go, because I want it to be wrapped around, so I don't know if it's even gonna work here. But I'll try. If not, I can simply make a separate, like, geometry nodes IV generator thing. But Blender also has a IV generator. Like, where is it? Hold on. Pretty sure there was one. Yeah, IV Gen. There we go. I think it's on the side. Does anybody know if I can move this, like, maybe on the bottom of the screen so I can read it properly? Oh, there it is. Add a new IV, add default IV. I guess I'll just do this. Oh, okay, that's crazy. Does this not take this into account? Okay. I think this spawns it right in the middle, or I think where the cursor is. Okay. IV curve. Oh wait, hold on. Is this like... no, that's a mesh. What about this? Okay, so those are curves, but I don't know if the leaves also follow. If I were to, like, draw... Oh, what the hell? That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I don't know if this... I don't think that works the way I thought it was. I'm gonna look it up, though, if I need to. But for now, let's just try using G-scatter again. I doubt it's gonna work here, but let's check. There, and then here. Okay, now I need white paint. Okay. Nothing is really appearing. Oh wait, it is. It's just not visible here. But, like, as you can see, it's not wrapping around, it's just kind of flat. And that's what I don't want. Okay. Alright, well, let's try a different method. So, can I, maybe, you know what, I could extract the leaves from this. Let me see. I think at least. But this is in sources right now. I'll just make a different collection entirely. It's a bit hard to do this here. There we go. I want it to be here. There we go. And this is gonna be like another ivy. Okay. Then I just need the leaves from this. Can I? Yeah, okay. I can just select them. That's good. So I'll just take a few here, then duplicate it. Do that. Move this in this collection. So now I have separate leaves, which I will separate them more by doing like the loose parts thing. So now each of them are their own object. And I do this. I think I'll need to also make sure the origin point is right there on the tip. So there we go. What was the batch rename thing again? Oh, that's not it. Batch rename. Control F2. Okay. Replace, I guess. Beef. Okay, 1 second. All. Or no, selected, but I wanted to just change it. New, I guess. Beef. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so now we have that going on. So hide this. So I can now essentially use these in geometry nodes. The way I'm gonna do that is, I think I'll just make a new plane. Or, wait. I guess curves, yeah, no, we have to make curves. That would make more sense. Because I'm gonna be using a draw tool. So let's make a Bezier curve here. Bezier. And then I can use this tool to then draw on the surface. And then that way I can make the ivy go around. Let's offset it a bit. See if I can. That. Okay. So now if I draw like a couple of curves here, just random ones, I guess. Let's also delete this. Okay. And I can scale it like that, yeah, but I wanna do this so they're kind of outside of it. And now I'm gonna make a geometry node setup here. So we're gonna use these points, instances on points. We also need set profile, I think, or what was it again? Curve to mesh. And then we need simple curve, I think. No. Simple. What was it again? I forgot. Curve circle. There you go. I think. I hope. Yeah, there you go. So now we have some curves going on, and I just want this to be combined with the leaves that we made. So I don't want this to be inside of the ivy collection, because that's where the leaves are. So let's put this here. There. Quick instance. Relative. Okay. I mean, there should be points here. Maybe resample the curve. Or am I supposed to make this into a mesh first? Oh, okay. So now it's getting somewhere. Okay, so now all of these aren't facing the correct way, though. Could I technically ring this pillar in here and then use like the normal information from it? Okay, I'll try. So we got this guy. Alright, and then I need to be able to extract the normal information from this. I think it was like align, rotation to vector. Okay. Rotation to rotation. And then what was it, like location to vector, I think? I could be wrong. Okay. To see if this did anything. Doesn't look like it. Maybe transform? Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. That's not working either. Okay, so it has to be location, because that's what I remember it being. And I think people usually do like normal and then vector math. And then they kind of mix it together. I think this worked. Maybe not. I mean, it looks better, but I also need to randomize this. Okay, how does this work? Right now they're kind of facing the same direction, essentially. Yeah. Right, let me just check.
To vector, so let's search for Euler to vector, search for line Euler to vector like this, put it over there. Let's connect the attribute of the capture attribute node to the vector of the line Euler to vector as shown in our tutorial, and you should connect the rotation socket to the rotation of the instance on points node as shown in our tutorial.
I will.
Like this.
This is a bit hard to know because this is like spheres, and you can really tell the direction, but what did he capture here? I'm assuming like, okay, so that's the normal, yeah, but that's the normal of like the active object, right? In which case we are using a curve, so there's not really any normal here, I think. Maybe there is, but I think that's just for the meshes. Okay. Unless this normal node captures the normal of whatever object is connected in the capture attribute node.
Put node.
Okay, so then capture attribute, and then he uses
and
the attribute directly, I guess, through the align Euler vector node, and then to rotation. Okay. So I guess I'll try that. So first, capture attribute, geometry. Okay. Then he had it like normal. Like this. This has to be also, what was it? Vector. That's not really an option here. I guess maybe face, but yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work. I'll check.
just like this, to attribute like this, to vector as shown in our tutorial.
Nothing is connected to the rotation of this at all. So let's do this here. Take this out. X. Well, that's not really changing anything. Did this work? It's kind of hard to tell. Well, it's clearly like rotating now, at least I think in a curve like this. So I did something, it feels like. But it's not really like changing anything if I select it here. Now, can I do like set rotation or something, or rotate, rotation? But that's like global, which kind of sucks. Yeah, they're not really doing it that well. Okay, maybe let's try another one. It's funny how I always come back to this specific thing.
Nodes are obviously amazing, but towards an object. So I'll go ahead and set this back to 0, 0, 0 for the location. I'll Shift D and duplicate this transform down. Plug that in as the geometry. Sorry for the jump, but I noticed while editing that I said something that wasn't 100% accurate. I mentioned that our x-axis was pointing towards this point in space, but that's not really what's going on, and
I think this is more of a general overview. We kind of want like a quicker one. Let me check this one.
And we see we have for every phase now a kind of spike. The captured special.
Okay, I think this is happening onto the main object. And I can't really do that, unfortunately. We're using like a curve. You know what? I think if I'm more specific, like let's do Blender ID geometry nodes. Simple geometry nodes, the whites, sure. Also, this is happening because I have a ad blocker.
Hit New, Shift A and search for a curve to mesh node and drop it between input and output. Then add a curved circle node and connect it to the profile curve input. Reduce the resolution to around 8 and the radius to about 0.01. Link the radius to your group input to expose it in the modifiers panel. Just so we can edit it easier later on, press N, go to group, and name radius as vine thickness. It's a bit unwieldy to adjust at the moment, so drop a math node set to divide between vine thickness and curved circle nodes. Set the value to 100, then turn the thickness back up, much easier to control. Add in a distribute points on faces node, connect it to the curve to mesh node, then add an instance on points node, link that up, and finally a join geometry node, and connect that to the group output. Then to bring the curve back, connect the curve to mesh directly to the join geometry node. Add in a new plane and scale it to 0.05, then apply the scale. Select your vine and pin the geometry nodes panel to keep the view in your workspace. Go to edit mode in the plane and move the mesh so that the origin is on an edge, then subdivide it a few times. Move either edge up on the z-axis a little bit, right click and shade smooth. Then add a simple deform modifier set to bend. This will be our leaf for now. Add an object info node and eyedropper the leaf. Connect its geometry output to the instance input of the instance on points node. Increase the density on the distribute points node. That adds some leaves, but they're all facing the same way, which is no good. So instead, switch random to Poisson disk, crank that density max up a little bit too. Expose that value and make it manageable with a multiply math node. Add a random value node set to vector and plug it into the rotation of the instance on points node. Set the max value to tau, which is twice pi, so max 360 degrees rotation. Add another random value node, leave this one on float and connect it to the scale input. Let's set a minimum of 0.8 and a max of 1.2, so it's a little bit under and over our original plane size. Expose the minimum value. To get a simple material for the vine, add a...
Actually, you know what? This is probably a better way. You know? Like, instead of trying to align it to the pillar, I can just do random rotations and just kind of offset it outside of the pillar. So let's do random value, vector, this, and then I'll just adjust it. Seems smart. I don't know geometry nodes, how geometry nodes works. Yeah, well, just as a general idea, you don't really need to know it, but yeah, we're just trying to achieve like this result of like IVs on a pillar. So doesn't necessarily have to follow the pillar itself. Like it can clip, obviously, like up at parts, but I think it's not gonna be visible all that much at all. So tool. Yeah, I've been getting by okay just copying node setups. Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to know absolutely everything. I just wish to offset this somehow. Like, there's this offset thing, but I don't know if that's even working. The hell? Let's try this maybe? No, that's not it. That's odd. Okay, so that's 0. 0.01, let's try that. Okay. Let's try 0.1. So that's working a bit better. I think I'll have some lines kind of dangling like this. Should probably just like do duplication here. Then okay. Okay, that can work. I like the translucency that it has right here. I also need a material for the actual roots, or whatever you want to call these. I guess it wouldn't be visible in here anyway. Yeah, we gotta check it here. Okay. I mean, I like it. Okay, then I'll just add a bit more based on the surface. I don't know what it's like doing right now with this. If I turn off this option for offset, it works, but then the offset doesn't work that well. I'm gonna try it again. Let's do just extreme, like 1. Yeah, it's not great. What is this option? Project the strokes only onto selected objects. I mean, that could work well as well, you know, maybe if I do that and enable this, perhaps that's a bit better, but still not really. It's okay. We could also turn down the tolerance, which would lessen the amount of points on this. Yeah, okay, so I don't know about this, but I'm actually, you know what, I'm better off using G-scatter for flat surfaces like this. This is okay, I mean, that's fine, but if I want to have like this going on here, like the stuff that I have over here, then I would more likely use G-scatter. But I don't know if it makes sense to have IV on the ground significantly, at least. We are gonna have rubble and other stuff on the ground as well, but I could have some plants as well. I'll just keep on decorating this one for now, this cylinder, or I guess column. Okay. 0.15. It's a bit of a mess, but you know, it works. Okay. Okay, cool. Now, for the rubble, I'm thinking of what to do. I think, you know what, I think I know what to do. Let me make another collection. Then let's do like maybe this. I have no idea why it changes so much, but it is what it is. I mean, that could work. Let's do it a bit wider though. It just changes every time. Okay. Just gotta get lucky. Like that. I guess that's okay. So I'll kind of make these types of shapes, multiple ones, and then I'll just scatter them around with geometry nodes and give them some sort of a texture that would make sense in the context of like rubble. So I can where was the seed option here, if there was even one at all? I can do that, why not? I guess this is okay. Just a couple of versions. And then we can use this collection. Let's say I make like a cube or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But here it is, a cube. And then we make geometry nodes. And we need to make sure we get the volume information. So to do that, we gotta do mesh to volume. Like this. So that's the volume. We can increase the density and also, I guess, turn this down just so that we have more space to work with. Then we want to distribute points in volume like this. So now they're like inside of this cube. And the rest is kind of the basics, really. Okay, so I'll just use... Okay, not that. I guess I can't use the Poisson disk or whatever it is. in this one, but that's okay. The other method is for when you want to avoid like objects clipping, so you limit the distance between them. So now you can see this happen. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Let me check. Okay, there we go. Okay, and let's also apply the visual geometry to mesh so that this is consistently like this. Okay. Next. In this case, it's okay if they intersect, because it's supposed to look messy. So let's do random value. Let's do vector rotation. Okay. Alright, now I can just put this wherever. I'll just mess around with the scale as well. Okay. I would like it if they were a bit more flat, if possible. If not, then I guess I would need to use a different method, probably with like a cube and a bevel method. Okay. I'm just cleaning up a little bit. This should be okay. Alright. Let's mess with some rotation values. Alright. So, now. Let me check what this looks like. Alright, well, that's not terrible for now. Kinda rough that it changes the texture, or not the texture, but the displacement, like the position, so often. Okay. Maybe I could use the mesh instead, like instead of the volume. Maybe that will be fine. I'll check. Okay. Oh, I have this so far away. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think this is better just because it's static. Okay. And then in terms of the material, I'll just have them have the same material, but make it so that different variations of it, like different parts of it, are gonna be different in color, and maybe like some other details. So let's do rubble. I kind of want to try the Ian Hubert method of just finding like the most chaotic image and displaying that on this, because it is essentially just a mess. It's info, and now we have this like random object info, which I can use for whatever I want. Let's just do noise for now on the bump, see what that looks like. Let's do height, 0.5. That's a bit much. Okay. Detail. Nice.